Hello YouTube, I am Decker49 and this is Zeno Clash. If you think this is a peculiar beginning to a game, you'd be correct. If you think it's going to get any more coherent than this, I'm afraid I have to dispel those delusions right now.
You will fight me, but those kicks won't help you much. To fight a real opponent, you have to focus on him. That's it. Now all your attacks and your movement are focused on me. Now hit me. Remember not to punch once. Do a three-punch combination.
What we're experiencing now is nominally a tutorial, but is actually quite interesting for a number of reasons. I'm sure you heard Metamok make a reference to a triple bomb not occurring correctly. From our perspective, we've never seen this person before, but in terms of how the narrative is displayed on this game, there's two narratives that comprise what we're actually seeing. First is the lead up to the death of a giant hermaphrodite called Father Mother, and the second is the events following that. They slowly get closer until at the end of the game they tie up.
Now you can't block, and your punches get slower.
So what Metamok is showing us now is the basic combat in this game. As you can see, it's basically a first-person brawler. It has similarities to Mirror's Edge,
Now do it again.
which is a good thing, I think.
Good. When many attack you, you must be quick to decide.
You can immediately see that the art style and direction on this game is something quite interesting, and it gets very, very impressive the more peculiar it gets, if I'm completely honest. You can see here we are fighting a hallucination in a forest, in some sort of celestial forest, who knows where. The soundtrack for this game, which I have, which I can recommend to all of you to buy, lists this particular piece of music as the dream, so perhaps we should interpret it in that way. We meet Metamok later in the game, and perhaps we'll have another think about it when we do see him at this point.
You are not dead.
Okay, that's our first excursion with Metamok complete. We play Gat, who is displayed here, once again in a very unique art style. That is the Father Mother on the floor. As the game opens, we are on the run from the town of Halstedom after killing Father Mother, a giant hermaphrodite who has the ability to produce children. We have a companion with us called Deidre, who we're going to meet shortly. This is Halstedom, in the land of Zeno, and we're on the run. Why did we kill Father Mother? We don't know yet. Gat is obviously in some sort of emotional turmoil here. You know, I imagine you would be if you just killed the person who was both your mother and your father.
I don't know why you did it. Father Mother's children are already coming. Are you listening? Gat!
If you stay with me, they might hunt you down too.
I know.
There he is!
What is the relationship between Deidre and Gat?
Eat your banana and toughen your skull!
Oh, we'll find out as we go along. So there's some of the other children of Father Mother who have found out that we've killed, or maybe even observed the killing, and are going to try and stop us.
You killed Father Mother, you worthless cack!
Alright, so this is our first opportunity to test out our new skills given to us by Metamok. As you can see there, it takes a little cue from more hardcore 2D fighting games to sort of versus screen there. She's not a bad fighter at all. So they use a lock-on system, so one of the things I'm having to be careful here of is locking onto individual people and then having someone sneak up behind me and give me the old 1-2, as Atlas famously called it, the 1-2 punch. The trick for me seems to be to get in there, do some damage, sprint away, and try and repeat that process basically. It appears that not only does Father Mother cross-gender, but also species, so some of our children here are quite obviously not of human origin. Right, I'm just going to wait for him to come back up here. Deidre is trying to open the gate. You can just, you know, every screenshot, every environment in this game is just dripping with artistry and fantastical imagery. For that reason alone, it was an utter pleasure to play this game. I'm just having a little look around here. Obviously people seem a little bit concerned that I'm beating the shit out of people right in front of their shops. A little nod to Total Recall there, perhaps. Jesus Christ. I'm going to pick up some fruit, and I'm going to try and make it out of Halstedom, Maine. I confess that's not the way I would get onto that bridge, but I'll roll under it all in one go, but you know, perhaps Gas is feeling a little bit more lucky than I. There's Giz. And now we're back in the land of dream, or hallucination.
Good.
It is never made entirely clear.
Shoot with it.
Once again, you have never seen a gun like this. I mean, on that screen, you'd barely even tell that it was a gun. Like, the design is so original.
You will shoot these birds after I throw them.
So Metamok has got us playing some sort of little game here. Normally, once again, for tutorial. That reload animation is beautiful. Let's see if I can take a couple of shots of him. No, I can't. We have our hallucination back. We continue to be taught the combat style here. I don't think I ever mastered the utter intricacies of this combat system, but you know, I did well enough to get through the game, so hopefully I'll be able to show you enough of that. Skull bombs. Sure, why not? It makes about as much sense as everything else around here.
That explosion was the last thing I saw when I was alive. That was the last thing Father and Mother saw when she was alive. But you are not dead.
There seems to be some sort of strange sense of foreshadowing
Are you okay?
here
You were gone for a minute.
with the
I
bomb.
know you are tired, but they are bringing bugbirds to follow you. You have to get a gun before they get here.
Deidre looks nice and safe, tucked away up there. So it seems that both Metamok and the Father Mother met their ends by Skull Bomb. some reason not Gat. The actual gunplay in the game, you know, aesthetics aside, the beauty of the models aside, is not terribly great. The weapons do feel a little bit clumsy, I do have to admit. The melee is generally a lot more fun, so during the course of the game I tend to stick more to melee than I do to actually shooting things, although it does come in handy for people if they're quite a long way away, for example. And there is one weapon at least, which is the equivalent of a rocket launcher, made out of some sort of animal skull, obviously. That skull bomb theme coming through once again.
From here to that roof and
Famous last words. Alright, it appears she's not dead either. Interesting to note, actually, just while I fight these guys here, that this game's made by an indie developer called Ace, and they use the Source engine by Valve to put it together, and it's originally came out on Steam, and since it was put out on XBLA, which is the version I'm playing here, Xeno Flash Ultimate Edition, a number of changes have been made to the way the game plays. Most notably, Daedra is voiced by an entirely different woman. I have actually gone back and listened to the voices from the PC game, and I can see why they actually changed it. Unfortunately, the voice work for Daedra in the PC game was very, very poor. So that was a good change. The throws that you're seeing me do here, and the knees and stuff like that, they don't appear to have been in the PC game either. So the combat is a little bit more diverse, there's a little bit more range there. So this is the gun I mentioned before, the rocket launcher analog. Bang. She'll never dance again, that's for sure. Oh, she's knocked it out of my hands there, so I'm going to finish her off the old-fashioned way. Or try to, at least.
It's funny you decided to follow me, Daedra, because I wasn't going anywhere.
So you were going to wait here till your million brothers and sisters got here and killed you? Get up, you Tef. We will go into the beach or the woods where we can hide, away from Halstedom.
Never say no to a woman with horns, that's what I say.
I'm glad you came, Daedra. Seems now it's my turn to follow you.
And we leave Halstedom.